Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope this helps. Let me just kind of remove a couple of things here. There we go. Cool. Wanted to kind of provide a little bit of information. I know some of these proposals to people that are not in the digital space can be a little cumbersome, so figured I'd walk you through it. What you're going to see is just a general project description. Nothing much there. It's just a way for me to kind of begin to wrap my head around the project itself. And then because this specific proposal is really, I wanted to get a tactical breakdown of what we're going to be doing, understand cost, and start piecing together ideas from our initial brainstorm. It's pretty tactical with a few screenshots as I did my research. So I broke it down to three things: foundation, which to me means how do we get you to a really, really good place online. So organically, we are what people find when they're looking for the Villages Bank, Bank in the Villages, Citizens First. When they pull up the map and put bank, we want to make sure we're just submitted properly to the Google world, to the search world, and people can find us. There's nothing better than free traffic and a free audience, so we want to do that right. And it has not been set up properly, so I just want to focus on that. I don't want to go full into campaigns when we don't have a good foundation to begin with. So again, the foundation, organic, SEO, which is more visibility of local results, right? That starts with properly setting up all your website titles and metadata. That can be a little difficult to explain, but basically the back end of your website, we submit to Google what each page is about. A proper metadata really speaks to what you guys do and what each page is doing. Whereas your homepage is just Citizens First Bank, which is good, your title, but we also want to say, your hometown bank in the villages, right? And then the description should focus on we are that hometown bank and these are the services we provide. We want to tell Google in the back end what we provide and index us for those things. We want to claim your business account and your Google and your Facebook page. I know we don't want the page to be engageable, but just having that business account gets you properly in the map, gets you that big sexy search result that we saw the other day. And same with Facebook. Google continues to add social media as a social trigger for organic ranking. So we just want to have all those what I call Web 2.0 pages developed with your information, so we can continue to own our little piece of the web, which is better banking in the villages and surrounding areas. Then I just have a note here around the website. For some reason, was set up very improper. It's a lot of images, which Google doesn't crawl well. There's no title tags, what I call your H1s, your H2s, and your paragraphs. Basically, that's the typical web structure that allows Google to read every page. When they see the H1, they're looking for that title. What is this page about? H2 is what are the supporting sections in that page, and P are the paragraph areas of text that Google reads. If you don't designate those properly, Google is not reading your page properly. And because of that, we're getting very poor organic search rankings. So when I got rid of the word Citizens Bank, I wanted to see what we rank for that's not just brand. Our top result is the number 3, which is a good keyword, banks in the villages, Florida. But then it just really starts to fall out. We only rank in the first page for about 8 terms and maybe about 5 that are relevant at all, which are the ones I've circled here. Really, we should be 50 to 100 terms that are relevant to us. Bank in the villages, mortgage in the villages, loans in the villages, all those things that are relevant to what we do, because there's not that many hyper local companies targeting these terms. It should not be very difficult, and I want to get us there effectively. So once we get that out of the way, I have a section called Sustain Digital, right? It's how do we keep a baseline for digital marketing that keeps us in the conversation? Very simple, a small AdWords campaign around what I call money terms. Money terms are the keywords that are super relevant to you guys, such as bank in villages, open bank account, first time home loans. Anytime somebody does those searches in the villages or surrounding areas, we want to appear, and we're willing to pay for those clicks because they're hyper relevant, and because it's centralized, it should be very low cost. Create business bank in the villages, something really good for those sales guys. Where do villages employees bank? Things like that. We want to just own that in Google for anybody searching those things in that general area. And retargeting with that is very effective. After they visit the site or engage with those ads, how do we show up in their social accounts with really valuable information, some of the USPs, the unique selling propositions that encourage them to actually take that action, give us a call, schedule a sales meeting, whatever it is that we want to do. Really quick on that topic, one thing I've noticed on the website is, obviously it's missing a lot of, this is all images like I mentioned. These things are like really hard. You don't really know that they're a button. It just says click here, but typically you want very defined call to action. But there's no lead or like engagement form for me. It's this little contact us button, which is contact us is very general. I still have to either call you guys or email you guys directly. It'd be really, really effective if you had on your homepage something that was speak to an expert, speak to a sales representative, and especially on your industry specific or vertical specific sections, such as, let's see, loans. Here, mortgage lending. Right, you have all this really good information to me. Meet our mortgage. It's just very heavy. There it is. So, I mean, I didn't see this before. You do have to get to this, but we want to make these things a lot more defined, right? And a typical page like this would have the value that we provide and a big old button that says speak to us now. How do we get our customers or our audience to our salespeople as quickly as possible? So get your foundation, the sustained digital, the things that we want to just set up, run, optimize, and just keep going. And then the campaigns that we'll want to go after, right? We'll want to define our target audience, set the messaging, and the action for that audience. I did just some general notes from our meetings. So obviously the general region, 25 to 55 age, village employees, with a campaign focus around the things that you guys designate are really important. Create your business, change your bank, get your home loan, things like that. From there, we'll want to create these targeted campaigns, which is going to be a combination of funnel-based social media. How do we target those people from awareness all the way down to retargeting to maybe a list of employees that we have to drive that action? At the same time, target the specific keywords on search, first-time home loan, village employee, banking, things like that, with a really clear call to action based on which campaign it is. So I have some examples, right? $1,000 towards home closing costs. Fill out the form to speak to a local home loan expert. This is really important. How do we make it feel like you guys are going to help them with whatever they're doing, and we're not just trying to get them to use our bank? And then I have my, what I call smarter banking, smarter health campaign. Village employees that switch to Citizens get a free Apple Watch. I know that Villages focuses a lot on health, and I think we can do something really cool here where if you come into the bank in a certain time period and switch, we can give you an Apple Watch, which we can get the Series 3 for like $200. Very inexpensive these days, and people would love that. Here's just some insight into some of the reach. Here's just people in the Villages surrounding area who match interests of Villages between 25 and 54, 18,000. Here's people who in that same area, 25 to 54, with interest of Villages, with a household income in the top 50 to 25. So not the highest income, but not the lowest either, right in the middle. That gives us 2,600. And then in LinkedIn, I said, show me everybody who has marked himself as employed in the Villages, and we get 2,800. So we can definitely target these individuals. Only additional thought I have here is, we're not the type of agency that pushes people to get a new website. A lot of people do that because it's a good money product. But I have to say your website is very outdated. A lot of just like kind of untrusted, stocky types of images, low quality images. The structure is all wrong. It's just there's no header ones, header twos. These buttons everything's crammed. We could really do a lot better job here once you guys are ready to do something a lot more professional. I think trust is so important in the banking space that if we can really drive that home, we'd have a lot more success and not feeling like a small, outdated bank with stock images. We can keep that hometown feel, but in a more professional, large-scale bank. Hope that helps. Let me know your feedback. Let me know when